In this video, I'm going to show you how you can hack your personal growth to grow up to 10 times faster. Most people give up in life because they do not see change. They do not experience the growth they desire. They do not see the fruits of their efforts, and that is why they give up and they stop trying altogether to change their lives. And we know that there is nothing more discouraging than trying and trying and trying harder, but never getting anywhere, never seeing the change, never experiencing the growth, never having the joy of acknowledging that you have changed, you have grown, you have done something good with your life. But it doesn't have to be this way. There is a way that you can be able to make sure that you grow, and not only that you grow, but that you grow in the areas that actually matter and make an impact in your life, and where you can start seeing the fruits and experiencing the change in your life within a couple of days. Now in this video, I'm going to give you some steps, some tangible things that you can do in order to identify the areas in your life where you need to grow the most, and how you can focus your energy on the right things to ensure that you start experiencing growth as soon as possible. Now, at the end of the video, I'm also going to tell you how you can get access to a free PDF document, a template that you can fill in to help you through this process in order to fast track your growth. All right, so the first thing that you want to do in this process is you want to get a piece of paper and a pen. The first thing you are going to write down is these three main headings. The first one is you're going to write down body. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to write down soul. And the third thing you're going to do is you're going to write down spirit. And in the next step, I'm going to show you how we're going to break these up into more subcategories and then start identifying those weak points. All right, so step 2 is now we're going to create subcategories for each one of these three headings. Under body, you can include things like health, fitness, sleep, energy, shape, strength, weight, and finances. You can also add other things if you think there are other areas that you want to identify. Under soul, we're going to include things like your mind, your emotions, and this includes your mental health, your emotional health, your emotional state, to how you experience life every day. We're going to include communication because that's closely related to your mental and emotional state, your relationships, your skills, and also your self-consciousness. This is the way that you see yourself. What do you think about yourself? And then finally, under spirit, we are going to add your spiritual life, your peace, your forgiveness, your love. You can add other things under here as well. Temperance, self-control, anything that has to do with your spiritual condition, the way that your spiritual life is in this moment. And you can add more categories to this. This is simply a template that you can use to get a good idea of what you need to do. Now, drilling down in these, what you're going to do is you're going to take each one of these points and you are going to ask yourself basically 3 important questions. Based upon these questions, we're going to give a rating to every area that you have created a subcategory for. Now, this is going to be a rating out of 10. So the first question you need to ask yourself for every one of these points is, number 1, how well am I, or how good am I doing in this area? And give yourself an honest rating from your own personal perspective, how well you are doing in that specific area. If you know that you are not in shape, that you are overweight, or maybe you're not overweight, but you're just not in the shape that you would like to be, or you think is a healthy shape for you, then you need to rate yourself honestly on the scale. Don't you give yourself a 10 if you know you're not a 10, because that's just going to hinder your growth. The whole point of this exercise is to be honest so that you can get a clear evaluation and clear knowledge of what you need to work on first. So go through these points and ask yourself, how well am I? How good am I doing in each one of these points? And give yourself a rating. Then the second question you're going to ask is, how much frustration does this thing or this area cause me in my life? Think about each area and then think about where is the greatest frustration in your life. If you, for example, struggle with your finances, that you're always struggling with money, then that is a great frustration for you. And then you're going to give yourself a score 1 out of 10, but this time, the higher the score, the greater the frustration. All right, so it's going to be a score out of 10, but if, for example, you know your finances is frustrating the heck out of you, then you're going to put a 10 there, or a 9, or an 8, depending on how much frustration, irritation, problems this area in your life is causing you. Now you can ask a third question. You don't need to do this, but if you do this, it will definitely help you to get a better picture. And this is that you can ask somebody else to rate you on this point. How well do you think I'm doing financially? How well do you think I'm doing in our relationship? How good do you think my communication skills are? How good do you think my leadership skills are? Do you think I'm in shape? Do you think I can do better in a certain area? And you can give them certain points and then ask them to rate you on a scale of 1 to 10. Ask them to be honest and don't take offense. You want as much clear and honest information as you can get. And so when your friend tells you you're out of shape, don't get angry at them. Take it for what it is, right? Even maybe they're not telling the truth, but maybe they are. And so just take it. Don't analyze it. Don't overthink it. That's not the point of this exercise. The point of this exercise is we want to identify very clearly the areas of growth that we need to focus on. All right, and then we go on to the next step. Okay, so once you've done that, you've calculated everything, you've put all the scores on there. Now you're going to take the top 10 items on the list. The top 10 is going to be from question 1 and question 3, the ones that score the lowest, and then you're going to go question 2, the greatest frustration index. You're also going to score them with the highest scores. Those you're going to put separately. And then what you want to do is you want to focus on the top 5 where those two things meet. How much you suck at those things and the frustration index. The lower your score with how well you are doing and the higher the frustration index will put the ranking of that specific area higher on the list. So for example, if I know that my finances is giving me a lot of frustration and I'm not very good with my finances, then that is definitely going to be top on my list. Now make a list of the top 5, top 10. You can reorder them. Just have a list of at least 5 things that stand out, that score the highest and the lowest with both the points, and then have that list in front of you. Now what you're going to do with this list is we're going to now take this list and you're going to choose the first one on the list. And this is where you want to start, because this is the point of greatest impact in your life. It is the greatest frustration and the greatest weakness in your life. And these two things together, if we can work on them, it is going to bring the greatest change in your life. For me, in my personal life, 12 years ago, almost 13 years ago, I realized that for me, it was my spiritual life. That my spiritual life, my relationship with God was not where I wanted to be. And that's my personal viewpoint as a Christian. Maybe for you, that's different. But for me, that was the point that I realized I need to do something about this. And I can promise you that working on that one point has completely changed my life. And I know that it can do the same for you. So let's take that list, rank them, choose the highest one, and then we're going to go into the next step, which is we're going to ask 3 questions which will help you to know how you can start working on these items. All right, so let's get into the 3 questions. Now, if you have your top, let's just pick the top one on your list. You can ask yourself 3 questions. The first one is why, and not as in why, but more as in the said, why is it that this is causing me frustration? What about this thing? Why is it frustrating me, and why do I suck at this? Why is this the way it is? You do not have to have all the answers, but just asking that question can already give you some clues as to what you need to do in order to change it. And that is the second question. What? Once I've identified why this is the condition, then the second question is, what can I do about it? I'm not asking the things that are out of your control. I'm saying ask, what can I do about this? What can I start doing differently? What do I need to let go of? What do I need to change? What do I need to start doing? What do I need to stop doing? What can I do today to start making a change? Maybe it is that I decide, well, I need to go and start exercising. I can start working out. I can join the gym. I can find somebody to motivate me. I can read some books on finances. I can go for marital counseling. I can read books on relationships or watch videos on communication. Like, what can I do to work on this thing, to lower the frustration and to improve my rating, how well I'm doing in this, to improve my skill, my rank with this specific area. And then the third question is where? Where can I start, and where can I find help? You need to identify where you can go in order to get help. This might be you can search on YouTube for the videos. You can go onto Audible or onto, into a bookstore or a library and find books to read or to listen to. Or you can, maybe there's a friend or a leader or a mentor. So where can you go in order to get help? Because you need to realize that trying to do this on your own is not going to work. What got me into this position in the first place is that I've been trying on my own. How has that been working for you? Well, you wouldn't be having this conversation. You wouldn't be watching this video if it went well, right? And so, where can you find help? Don't be too proud to ask for help. Find help, whether it's in a book, in a video, in a person, in counseling. Just start making a list of where you can go to find help and to find resources in order to enable you to start growing and to start changing this specific area. All right, so we're getting to the end here. So what do you need to do next? Now that you've identified the main point, you have asked why, what, and where, and you've answered those questions, you need to now start writing down a small plan, a very practical plan, step by step. What are you going to do next? What happens tomorrow morning? What happens on the next day? Make a plan. Write down the things that you need to do and then follow that plan. But don't do this huge, elaborate, quantum physical, plan. Just keep it simple. We're not trying to rule the world or to change the world in one day. You just want to start making progress. So take small steps, things that you can action. Tomorrow, I can just wake up a little bit earlier. Tomorrow, I'm going to go for, I'm just going to run 1 mile or 1 kilometer. I just want to get out. I'm just going to read 10 pages or 5 pages. I'm going to watch 1 video just to help me. Start making a plan, an actionable plan, a tangible plan, and then take small steps. And as you take small steps, remember to reevaluate yourself often. You can maybe have a weekly check-in with yourself, or you can ask a friend that can hold you accountable and just have a check-in with them. How is this going? Have you been actioning your plans? Do you see any progress? What can you change about the plan? Maybe something is not working the way you thought it would work. But don't give up. Just change it. Make it work. Like adjust, right? Until it works for you. But the idea is that you want to just see small steps of progression. And then as you start to see small steps of progression, when you are happy with the steps that you have taken and the things you have achieved in the small steps, you can now start to add bigger steps. Now you can go on to bigger things, bigger leaps, but don't go on to the big leaps if you haven't even taken a small step. And then ultimately, once you have gained victory over this small thing, or you have improved this one area, the number one area in your life, the greatest frustration is no longer frustrating you. Guess what? You are going to be so motivated to go on to the next area in your life. You are going to start seeing change as soon as you start working on this. So do not delay. Go and download the PDF. Go and get that PDF. You can get it in the link. There will be a link in the description below. Just click on that link, register for it, and you can get this PDF all for free, the template that you can use. Fill it in, start working on this, and you will start to see the change in your life. And you know what? Once you start to see the change, you actually realize that change is possible. And so do not delay. Get out there, start working on this. Be encouraged, be motivated, just give it a try. If it doesn't work, like you haven't lost anything. But I promise you that if you really put your heart into this, that it will work and you will start to see the change in your own life. All right, so that's basically it. Once that's done, then you can write down in the comments, just let me know, have these steps worked for you? What do you think? What else can we add to these steps? And share this video with somebody that you believe can benefit from this. Maybe it's a friend, a family member, somebody that's discouraged, or somebody that just needs a little bit of help to get ahead and to start changing their lives. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Until the next one, goodbye.